What's going on, everybody? Sergio FB here. Today I thought I would make a little bit of a different video, and we will be doing a showcase of my fingerboard collection. So let's get right into it. So right off the bat, we got one of my older boards I've made here. This is what I like to call the Benji board. It's one of the first fingerboards I made, and it was initially a boxy board, but I ended up turning it into a popsicle shape. Right now it has cartwheels with, I guess that would be aluminum interior, some 3.0 Black River trucks, level up beta bushings, yellow, and it sits at 97 millimeters by 34. Alright, so next up is I guess you'd call it a blank, but it's kind of got silver grain, like silver-ish grain on the interior. I don't know. It's got silent pills from Fingerrad. I don't know if you can see that. Fingerrad silent pills. This has obvious trucks, and the bushings are also level up beta bushings yellow. This is a 33.5 millimeter, maybe 33.8 if I'm not mistaken. This was one of the mains for a minute. Up next, we have a really beautiful bottom ply that I made. So it's kind of hard to see here, but it does get lighter as it goes down. So it's darker, then it gradually gets lighter. This is my I1 mold. And if you look closely, the plies are also split in the middle. So it's like a middle split ply. Right now we are using, currently on this setup, I have deli trucks, 34 millimeter. I have blue Wysocki wheels, so they're center pressed bearings. And of course, I got the light blue level up beta bushings. A very fun setup. Probably one of my favorite setups. Coming up next, I have another, I guess you'd call it exotic ply. That's what we're gonna call these. They're not exactly blanks. They kind of are, but they're like exotic plies. This one we have a set of ill pills that I did a trade with my buddy on Instagram. I have Vortex trucks. So this was my first set of Vortex trucks. I wanted to try them out. Hence the Vortex sticker. And I'm also rocking some dark blue. These are a darker shade of blue level up beta bushings. And on this specific set of trucks, I have the bottom washer and the top washer on. Inverted kingpins. It's a very light board, but it is very fun. And I really like the blue middle ply. Alright, next up is surprisingly one of my favorite decks that I haven't made, I guess I would say. This is my first ever purchased flat face board, and this is a G15. And it's just olive green, blank. But the trucks I have are actually Y trucks, so they're off the bat, the pivot cups and bushings are pretty horrible. So I ended up just throwing on dynamic tuning. Dynamic pivot cups, and for the wheels we are rocking caramel wheels, and these are 7 millimeter, and it's a 33.5, I want to say, flat face deck. Really fun board to use. Up next is the first deck I made from the i3 mold, and the i3 mold is heavily inspired by the G16 shape. So it's got a concave depth of 1.4 millimeters with a nose of 28 degrees and a tail of 26 degrees. What we're using for the wheels are some red G8 flat face wheels. I have magenta level up beta bushings, and and I have golden base plates with chrome hangers from Dynamic Trucks. So this is a really fun board to use. This one is another i3 mold I made. It's a blank. It's a very dark green. This one is a 33.3 millimeter. I'm also rocking flat face G8 wheels. These were initially graphite, but they kind of turned into a dark green. These are Black River 3.0 trucks. These are dual bearing edition, although these wheels are not dual bearing. So the way I made that work was I got some wheel spacers and I threw them on the ends of the hangers, and the single bearing performs just well. There's no wiggle, you can tighten them all the way down. They work really well. I'm also using Mike Schneider flat face bushings. Although I'm not a big fan of the bottom bushings, they tend to bulge out. But overall, it's a good setup if you like a loose feel. Next up is one of my older boards. This is an i2 mold, and it's a popsicle shape. And it is actually a 6-ply. So what we're using on this setup are some Doe fingerboard trucks. They're prototypes. They are made out of aluminum, and I'm not sure what type of aluminum they're made out of, but he did send me 2 sets of bushings, and these bushings perform incredibly well. I'm also using Black River Classics. These are my oldest wheel I have. These are about 6 years old, give or take. Instead of your standard lock nut, you actually use a mini hex tool and you tighten them inside the truck. So it's a little bit different for the axles. I'm also rocking some Dungeon Crawl board rails. The reason why I'm using these is because these trucks are incredibly light. So these aluminum board rails do help give the board extra weight, and they add a little bit of uniqueness when you do some board slides. So they're really fun to use. Up next is one of my favorite split plies I've made. This is an i2 mold, and instead of your standard popsicle, it's actually got a little bit more of a tapered nose and tail. Right now I have a set of black Dynamics that I haven't even really used, so they're virtually brand new. I do have green slime Wysocki wheels, and yeah, I've used this thing quite a bit. It's really fun. Probably one of my favorite boards I have. Up next is a flat face G16. So I did have another G16, but this one is the G16 I actually ended up falling in love with. Right now, I don't exactly have my favorite set of trucks or wheels with it. Let's go over it real quick. So, right now I'm rocking Carmel C4 trucks. And I do have their tuning on it. Their top bushing is a little specific, so you can't exactly put any bushings you want to put on it. That could be negative, that could be positive. Take it as you will. These trucks are compatible with dual bearing wheels. They are very interesting. I think that's really cool. These wheels are G9Ts, flat face. They are the first set of wheels Mike Schneider ended up making before he released a more perfected version. Next up, I have a purple blank with some Peak wheels and some Leaf-Eye trucks. So the funny thing is, these trucks were extremely cheap. I think I only paid $6 for two sets, and yeah, I just threw them on here. 2 sets is pretty cheap for $6, so I figured why not. The bushings, bottom bushing are Mike Schneider bushings, flat face, and then the top ones are just some purple O-rings I have. I don't really use this board. It's a little on the heavy side. It is a 6-ply, and it is a nice board, but it's just not in my rotation at the moment. Next up is actually my oldest board out of the boards we've showcased so far. This is a Black River 33.3 millimeter extra wide. The concave is amazing. If you really like deep concave, this is a great shape for you. The wheels I'm rocking on this setup are blue wheels, red embossed Black River 3.0 with some dynamic tuning. It's a fun board. I thought I'd set it up, keep it going. I don't use it too often, but this is the last Black River board I've purchased, and this was over 3 years ago. Next up, we have a I2 mold, one of my split plies, probably the first fishtail I made, and it happened to be a split ply. I just went with orange, blue, and I think this is like a light blue, gray blue. So I am rocking some shark wheels. These are made from maple. The bearings are amazing. Amazing bearings, they feel great, they are big. This is the second set of leaf eye trucks I did get, so I just threw them on this setup just for fun. I don't use this setup too often. The trucks are very loose, and currently I think it's just royal tape. So nothing crazy. It is a 5-ply, but I think it is an amazing fishtail. Next up is a heroin egg fingerboard. It is made by Maple Leaf, so they did a collaboration. They do have these in real size skateboards. It is the egg shape. I'm sure many people who fingerboard or are familiar with fingerboarding have seen this somewhere around. This one was actually given to me by my friend. I just threw on some dynamics I had lying around, and these are some flat face G4 glow in the dark edition wheels. They're really cool. I can showcase those here in a second for you. So these wheels do glow in the dark. They're very cool, very fun to use. I wouldn't say they're very practical unless you do night fingerboarding, but they're fun to have, and I enjoy owning them. Next up is a split ply I've had for many months. It is my I2 mold, and I did make this one quite a while ago actually. This is just a Nike FB Golden decal, golden dynamic base plate and trucks. I did throw on some Black River tuning just to see how they would perform with dynamics, and they do look really good. I do like the orange. The wheels are maple, sandstone color. Really good wheels, really smooth. I do enjoy these wheels. I do enjoy maple wheels quite a bit actually. I think this colorway looks cool. I think this comes together quite nicely. I don't have any grip on it at the moment, but maybe I will set this one up and use it eventually. Alrighty, next up on the list is a 34mm. This is a split ply. I have dynamic raw hangers with lime green base plates. I guess you'd call it lime green. For the wheels, I am using caramel wheels. These are 7.5mm. And the bushings are level up beta bushings, lime green. So this is a very fun board. I used it in quite a few of my videos, and I still use it often. So this one is a board I definitely don't mind shredding. Next up on the list of boards, this is actually my girlfriend's fingerboard. Just pink. I thought pink would be a good idea. I have pink base plates on a set of deli trucks, and these are peak wheels. I don't know what the pattern of these wheels are called, but they are pretty cool. Stock bushings from deli, and then the grip tape is actually from Fingerrad, the same place I got the silent pills. But the board is cool. It's an I3 shape, so it does resemble the G16 quite a bit. And it is a 5-ply with some pink and white plies. Next up is a board I'm sure many of you guys have seen. This is my favorite split ply I've made. It is a 34mm I2 mold, and it's got the tapered nose and tapered tail as opposed to my standard popsicle shape. We are using the #1 truck, in my opinion, Dynamics with some stock dynamic tuning. I do always use a washer above my top bushing. That's just my personal preference. And for the wheels, I did go with some oak wheels. This is my very first set of oak wheels I've ever owned, and I thought it was about time I gave in and tried them out. I will say these wheels are extremely grippy. They do perform quite well, surprisingly. These wheels are softer. I do believe they might be 65D, if I'm not mistaken. These wheels are fun though. They do perform quite well. I haven't had any issues with them. I just noticed they do get dirty quite easy. I do plan on using this one even more. This is a very good board. Next up, I do have my most recent board I made. This is a blank white board. I am using some white and gold Black River 3.0s with some flat face G4 turquoise wheels. The bushings are, you guessed it, level up beta bushing, light blue, with a little flat face decal and a Nike FB decal, and the middle ply is also turquoise. So I did make this board and planned it out ahead of time. So I did want to kind of color match quite a few things. And I haven't grinded these or slid the board too much yet. I've been doing a lot of flat ground on it, kind of getting used to Black Rivers again, but eventually I will have to start grinding these trucks. But so far, this one is either my first or second favorite at the moment. Next up, this one is more or less for fun. It is just a Tech Deck old school cruiser deck. I just threw on some Leaf-Eye trucks, purple base plate, Obsius bowl wheels, and I think it looks really cool. I think it performs okay. It doesn't have much to go off of, but it's pretty fun to have. This is a very interesting setup, so let's get into this. This is a board made from HN Premium Fingerboards. You can find him on YouTube. He does really interesting videos. He does amazing tricks with these fingerboards. These are a gripless fingerboard. So essentially you're supposed to use the natural grip from your fingertips to use these. I haven't been able to master this thing. It is fun to use every now and then. They do have bearing wheels, and the trucks don't exactly turn, but it is interesting to say the least. Go check him out on his YouTube channel. He does amazing tricks with these, pops them really high, and I'm sure you'll be impressed. Up next is a board I actually don't really use, and the reason why I don't use it is because it's just really not that great. This is a Tech Deck Pro Series, and let's get into the reasons why I don't use this board. So first of all, the wheels are like erasers, so they're very, very grippy. And then I've also seen people, because these are a dual durometer, I guess, some people have actually had the white part come off of the green, so they've come apart. The trucks are surprisingly good, in my experience, from the other one I've had. I actually have almost no complaints with the trucks. The grip tape is fairly thick. I like to joke around and say it's like a memory foam mattress, but I mean, I guess once you get used to it, it's not the worst. I prefer a thinner grip, 1mm to maybe 0.5mm at the thinnest, but this is just absurd. If you look closely, you'll see that the edges are not rounded. It's as if the manufacturer just took it straight to a routing table, did a few passes, and set it up. One issue I've had with this specific model is the plies delaminating, and that was because I left it in my pocket when I did laundry. It really doesn't have a lot going for it. The shape is okay, it's very mellow, and it's got medium kicks, and I would say maybe medium to low concave. Other than that, it's more of a collector's piece. I don't plan on using this anytime soon. The first one is made from a friend of mine. on Instagram and here on YouTube. He does join my live streams quite often. You can call him Ghostface. That's what I prefer to call him. He ended up making me this board, which has a very good amount of concave. The length is quite long, so I believe it's about 102 millimeters, if I'm not mistaken. I had it set up for a little bit, and it was pretty fun to use. I enjoy a steep nose, specifically a steep nose. I do enjoy good concave. I don't believe it's warped. He did great work rounding the edges and coating it with some high gloss. He did amazing job with the countersinks. Overall, I do really enjoy this board. I don't have it set up at the moment, but I will likely plan on setting it up in the near future. Up next is a very interesting board. It is a 34 millimeter, and it's made by Clownboy FB. He does have Instagram. That's where I initially found him. And the cool thing about this board is it's a epoxy/resin board, but it's also got some actual wood inside of it. It is a 5-ply, and it is just about the right thickness you would like a board to be, so it's not too thick. I haven't set it up, and I likely will not be setting it up because it's such a unique board. This is more of a collection piece for me. The price on this board was, I believe, $70. I really enjoy this board a lot, and yeah, I just like looking at it. It reminds me of like some volcano with some water, like a little river running through it. I don't know. It's a cool board. This is a very unique board and also a very special board. So I got it from Doe. He's over on Instagram as well. He's the same guy I order all of my molds from. He's the same guy I got the Doe prototype fingerboard trucks from. And he did an amazing job with this board. I really like the vibrant colors. I really like how it puzzled together quite nicely. And the ply colors he chose are also really cool. It is a shorter board, coming in at about 96 millimeters long. Very cool shape. It's got great concave, and one thing worth noting is that the nose and the tail both have concave on them. So you probably can't see it too well on camera, but it is a very unique thing to add into a fingerboard design. Last but certainly not least is a very, very cool board that I received recently, and the process of getting this board was probably a lot harder than you would imagine, but we ended up getting it finally. So let's go over this. Now, I actually did win this from Sticky Art himself. So this is a hand-painted sticky, and it is an official collaboration with Obvious, so it'll be FB up here. And this is his personal artwork on a fingerboard, so I think this is really cool. I think, I could be wrong, but I believe this is the Forbidden Dragon watermelon design. I'm honestly not too sure. I think the design on this is really awesome. It's a very detailed dragon cut into pieces, but it's also leaking watermelon juice, and the top of it and the bottom of it are halves of a watermelon. The shape of this is really cool. I haven't actually used an Obvious board in quite a while. I'm not sure if I do plan on setting this one up specifically, since it is a one-of-one prize and it's more of a collection piece. But if I do set it up, I'm not sure I'll shred it. Either way, it is very cool to have, and I appreciate Sticky Art for sending this to me. It will definitely be a good addition to the fingerboard family, and I really enjoy it. So shout out Sticky Art for this one. Alrighty, so that just about covers all of the fingerboards. I have quite a few more decks that I won't be showcasing, just because it'll take too long to go through every board. These ones I just felt like deserve to be mentioned. These are very unique or sentimental boards that I have that I don't exactly want to set up, but I enjoy having them as collector pieces. These ones are just kind of in a way gimmick boards, just for fun. I don't really use these ones seriously. All of the main setups that I have over here, it looks like there's about 19 set up at the moment. So give or take, this is quite an expensive setup. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I won't be showcasing any obstacles in this video just because I don't want this video to take too long. But we're gonna estimate this value at about, I would say, to be fair, on the low side, 1,500. On the upper end side of things, I would say maybe close to 17, at the most 1,800. But that's just the setups and the decks alone. So again, thanks for watching. If you guys made it this far, leave a emoji in the comments. Drop a watermelon and dragon emoji if you did make it this far. And a like or subscribe is always appreciated. I really appreciate you guys just watching. If you guys want to see more of these kind of videos, I can do a fingerboard obstacle showcase, I guess. Or I can just do something that I've been wanting to do, which is a trick tip tutorial. Just let me know, and I'll be able to work on it. But again, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, and you guys have a great day.